Okay, this is Cecilia again, and let's start the tutorial of this adorable mini album. I am going to need a lot of stuff, and you can change if you don't have exactly the same. Of course, you can change for different or similar items, okay? I already made some flowers, but you can buy your flowers if you want. I use my fantasy dies to make my flowers and leaves, and I also pre-cut this gorgeous die cut to make some embellishments around the pictures. We are going to need this thing that I don't know the name in English, or at least I don't remember, to make the cover and back cover. Some laces, as I told you, you can use the things that are available near to you. I'm going to cover with this soft pink my front and back cover, and this is for making a kind of little skirt, I think it is. Okay, now here I have more leftover pieces of laces and things like that. Now you will find the template to make this album. I just cut it in a piece of cereal box because it's sturdier and easiest to make my marks. For the covers, front and back covers, I use this chipboard, which is, I think, about, let me tell you how many millimeters, 3 millimeters. uh, and one thing that I like to do, because I don't want to be confused, I put in one side my A side, I put this in my chipboard piece. I draw all the perimeter, and this is my A side, okay? And of course the back is the B side, all right? And I did it for both. Why? Because you won't be able to use the same side in the A in the front and in the back. Why? Because this is hand, I use my knife to cut all of this, and probably it's not going to be exactly the same. So in this way I know this will match with my front side. Again, I you can see here I use one in this color and one, this is a Graphic 45 chipboard, and I don't mind so much because this is not going to be visible, okay? But this is light chipboard, that's why I did it in this way, okay? We need 2 pieces of this. I am going to use this ribbon, which is cotton ribbon, to cover all the edges, and we will do it in a moment. But the collection that I am using, it's a gorgeous paper, digital paper collection made by my former Graphic 45 teamie, Leah oh, I can't I can pronounce your last name, Leah. I'm sorry, but you can find her here on YouTube in the channel Memories by Leah, I think. And of course she has a Etsy shop, and I bought these gorgeous papers. I already print them. I just print 10 of the pattern papers. You can see here they are so beautiful. Let me quickly show you. Pink and kind of brownish colors. You can see here, this is so beautiful. I am so happy that you are making these adorable papers, Leah. They are so beautiful. Let me quickly show you. Of course, this is not the whole package. The package includes, I am not sure, maybe 40 or maybe more than 40 patterns papers, and a lot of ephemera cards and elements to play with, okay? But because this is not a huge album, I am just going to make this as a present. Oh, this is so beautiful. So I am just going to add two pages, okay? And look at this. How beautiful is this? And because I want to put this as pieces to write something, I already print them in the back as well, okay? So let me show you here. The parents can put the name, date, time to she was born, the length and the weight. This is so beautiful. Here we have the months of the year, 5, 6, 7, 8, and look at this. It's so beautiful, this collection. And 9, 10, 11, and 1 year old. So beautiful. So I'm planning to use this, but now I'm going to link to her shop below in the information box, okay? So first we need to start with this, and I'm going to use this, and my idea is to cover here. We don't need to cover here and here because we are going to add our spine here in the shoulders, okay? So then we are going to, oh, another thing. When I made my pieces, I also add these marks that I have here, okay? Just to be sure where is going to be the bottom, which is going to be the closure and the spines, okay? So we are going to start here and go all around, and I am just going to use this because I think it's going to look amazing with the fabric, okay? So let me quickly show you, and I'm going to start here with this black, and then you will see. I tried. I am short right now with this light chipper in this color, so it's okay. This is going to be covered. And you can manipulate easily this cotton. I bought this in Amazon. That's why I have this huge roll. Later I'm going to cut here, and now we can continue all around. At least let me try. This cotton trim is perfect to do this, and I think it's going to look so good. Okay, and you want to do it by pieces, okay? Let's finish this the best we can. Let me move all of this out of this way, and I think that I am going to use my mat. we will repeat it with the other sheet, and then when we are ready we can continue covering the front and back cover as well. Okay, I already finished these two pieces and they need to dry as much as we can. Now we are going to cover the A side of one of these pieces with this, and the other it's going to be at the B side because this is going to be in the back. Okay, so let's start. I'm going to use this glue if I have it, and then we need to cut all around the edges because after that we are going to use fabric, but it's better to make it a little fluffy but also avoid all the transparency. Oops. Okay, I have this another one. I think it's a good idea to let this dry a little bit. So I covered the A side. Now I'm going to cover the B side. I'm going to cut the other one in the same way. Okay, I already cut my two pieces, and now we just need to make here some cuts. I think that I am going to use this one. And I prefer to leave enough space to wrap everything. Okay, now here where I have my marks, I am just going to cut here as well. Okay, let's try with another ones. Oh yes, this. here we need to hold this piece. And you want to use that is important that you hold here because you don't want to move this side, okay? Don't worry because we will use laces and cheesecloth to decorate, so it's not going to be visible. But here is where we need to be careful, and maybe you want to do it in this way. I think we need to continue with the top side first. That's perfect. And now we need to repeat the same process with the other one. Okay, this is ready, and I already made some things in advance just because I want to try and see if that works. Okay, first, let me tell you how I cut my pattern papers. You can see here I already choose my papers, and if I am going to see it in this way, well, here the pattern has a direction, so I used another of the papers. This is my B side. So this is my A side, this is my B side. And then what I did, I just put this on top of the side of the paper that I want to see here, which is this one. I put it on top and then just mark all the perimeter, and then I just cut. Okay, and I think I need to cut a little bit more, or at least erase the pencil marks. But what happened, for example, with this one, because the pattern is this one, okay? Well, let me tell you. Let me choose another one with direction. Suppose that I am going to use this in this, okay? Well, first, I check that this is my A side, so I am just going to put my pattern in this way. So I put in this way with the top side on the top, and here the top side is in the bottom, and then I just trace all around in this way. I can see perfectly in the right direction my papers. Okay, so I choose, and you're watching here that this is my big side, but I think I want it to start. Let me check because I don't remember. Well, it's okay. In the side that we want to start, it's okay, but it's important to place the papers perfectly. Okay, now we need to make the hinges. I already attached this side, and I'm going to make the other with you here. And this is the piece that I made already, because here I am just going to attach my pieces in here. You can see, just stick them in this way, next in this one, and remember we just have 2 sheets. Okay, so let's make another of this, and then we will continue with this piece as well. Okay, to make this you will need 3 pieces that measure 2 5/8 by 1 1/2. Okay, in the 2 5/8 side I score at 1 and 1 5/8. So I am just going to have in the center here 5/8 of an inch. You will need 3 of these, and I am just distressing in the inside with my tea dye. If you want to distress, perfect. If you prefer not to do it, it's great as well. Okay, but I think it's going to look better, so that's why I am just going to make a quick distress. We are going to use a piece of the paper that I am just going to distress in some 3 of the sides, the 2 long sides and the short side. Okay, because we are going to attach the hinges in here. Okay, and this needs to measure 1 1/2 the tall side, and we will start adding the first one. Align it with the left side. Okay, it's important to align it perfectly here in the edge, and also be careful that this is aligned in the top and in the bottom as well. Okay, now to add the next one, we need to use our chipboard piece and then just put it here, align it with this side, and then just make a pencil mark just to see it is. Maybe you can see here the pencil marks. Okay, I'm going to attach the next one there. Okay, you need to align it the best that you can with your pencil marks, but also with the top and the bottom sides. Now we need to repeat it in here in the last one. I am just making my pencil marks to see where this needs to be aligned, okay? And we use the pencil marks to see exactly where we need to attach the hinges, and then just stick them perfectly. And here now we need to cut our following this line. Just be careful because you don't want to cut your flap, okay? And I am just going to ink a little bit here. Okay, now I added a little bit of cheesecloth just to add more cuteness to the project. Okay, so I'm going to add my glue all of this and a little bit in the flaps just to be sure it is perfectly attached. And also the cheesecloth is not going to add cuteness, but it's going to help to reinforce the paper. Okay, now we are just going to add a little bit showing in the top and a little bit showing in the bottom as well. Now here I can cut and carefully. You need to cut here as well. Okay, and here I'm going to remove the excess. That's perfect. We need to wait until this is dry, and now we just have the two pieces. Okay, now this is going to be to hold the hinges, but we need to cover this back with something more beautiful. For that, you need another piece of paper. I am using this one. You can use a ivory cardstock or whatever you want. I am just reinforcing all of this with fabric because I don't want to lose my pieces. Okay, this measure 3 7/8 of an inch by 1.5, and I score 7/8 in this side and 7/8 in the opposite side, because you need to have here 2 inches. Okay, you can leave this more longer if you want, but I think that's fine. Now you will need a piece of fabric that is a little bit longer from the long side. Okay, and we will wrap here with this and then with this, but I don't want to see the end ugly. So that's why I want to stick this, and I try it with the other one with a liquid glue, but no, it didn't work. So I am just going to use a little bit of a double-sided tape. Okay, now first you need to score, to crease these scoring lines. Okay, it's important to have everything perfect here. Now we can let me remember. Yes, this is going to be here. So maybe there is fine. I'm going to add my glue in one side. This is a silicone brush, really handy for this. Now we can just cover here. Okay. Now we need to repeat here. This side as well. Okay, and you need to pull this the best that you can. Okay, you need to check on this side. That's perfect. And again, I'm going to mark my scoring lines. Okay, this needs to dry, of course, but now let me find where is. I have this beautiful cotton, it's not lace, I don't know how do you call it this, but I love it. So what I am doing here, I just going to add a little bit on each side, something like this. So we need 2 pieces, and I want to cover even a little bit of the flaps here and here. Okay, so let's add the glue. In here I am just going to use my clips. Oops, Cecilia. With my clips I want to hold it until this is dry. It's important to let this dry. All right, now we can repeat it in the opposite side. I need more clips. Okay. Okay, and here in the center I also have another lace that I need to find it. Hold on, here I found this. Okay, I am just going to measure almost the same length. I am not measuring just precisely. I just want to add interest there. But this is white and I want to ink it a little bit with my tea dye, Distress ink. Just a little bit. I think it's going to match much better with the pink in this way. Also, first I colored, this is in binding, and I bought always my seam binding in white because it's quite expensive to get it to here, and I ink this. Okay, I use to color this the same color that I use to make my flowers, saltwater taffy, and a little bit of this Lindy's salt. Oh, it's the same name, saltwater. Oh yes, it's the same name. That's curious. Okay, I combine those, and then this is already dry. Okay, now here let's find out. Let me tell you, the length is 17 inches. All right, now I'm going to find my center, and it's here. So I will try to put this in here in my center. See, and here again I need to find my center. All right, let's see if this is centered or not. Yes, it is. All right, this it's going to be here, but I'm going to make a bow, but I want, and I'm going to using my needle and some thread. I just want to attach it here. I will try to find my center here and here. I know now where are my marks. All right, and be careful because you want to center it from both sides as well. And I am just going to make 2 or 3 stitches just to be sure it's going to be on place. Okay, that's the only idea, to secure it here. Another one. right? Now we are just going to secure it in the back. Now let's add a drop of glue. Okay, and now before everything we need to mark this one more time. Okay, now we are ready to add some glue here to stick this piece as well. Okay, now the other side. There you go. Let's secure it a little bit, especially here. And now we can make our bow. And I'm just going to add some glue here. In both tails. And this now needs to dry a little bit, and while that happens, I think we can continue adding our sheets here. Okay, I have here my 2 sheets, so now we need to attach this here, and you need to start exactly in this corner or this edge. Okay, here is where we need to attach the hinges. So let's add the glue on the flaps only, not in the base, of course. And remember, you need to start in this very edge. One is here. Probably I want to secure it with some clips just in case, because now I'm going to do it in this side as well, and this is where I start aligning, okay, in the neck side, not in the shoulder side. Just align it in the very edge here. You can see here it is aligned in here. Okay, now we need to repeat here and here. Here we will add the covers, and we will have a little bit of room to add embellishments. Okay, so let's check this because maybe it's ready. And one more time, we want to crease here, okay, to be sure it's folded perfectly. And just double check because we need to have here the 2 inches. You see, that's the spine because it's what this measure, 2 inches. All right, so now I'm going to let aside to dry, and now I want my tails in the opposite side. So what I am going to do is stick this here, and for this I'm going to use my strongest adhesive, okay? Because I need to be really sure it's going to be holding everything in place. And just to secure it even better, I like to use pieces of cardboard to hold this. So this will be here aligned. Let me check in this side in this way. You see, this is not perfectly aligned, so now it is. Now it is. So let's use something to hold it on place. And now I can add, this way. Probably now it's a good moment to remove this excess. Yes. All right. And again, we need to align it with the neckline. If there is some of this glue, because this leaves mark, it's important to remove it before you add your clips. Now we just need to wait a little bit because this glue take a little bit time to dry. Okay, so we need to wait. Okay guys, I have to confess something. I removed this one because I didn't pay attention, and instead of put the same A side in this way, I put it in the B, and for me that is important, so I had to remove everything, but carefully I did it. And just be careful. Of course, you will see in the video the instruction to be careful for that if you want to make this album. And I am not too worried because we will cover everything. So this is my A side. This should be also my A side. That was my huge mistake. We will cover everything with paper. That's why I am not too worried. And I really prefer to do it fine. Okay, I'm going to wait until this dries. In the meantime, what I am going to do, I put a number because I want to be sure which is going to be my number 1, 2, etc. Okay, I'm going to erase all the pencil marks, and I'm going to distress with my scissors all around, and I'm going to ink it a little bit with my tea dye all my pages, and then I'll come back with you. Okay, I already distress everything. I use this tool by Tim Holtz and ink it with the distress ink in tea dye color. Now we need to attach these two pieces. This needs to be here, and the other it's going to be in the front. Yes, I'm going to use again this because I have fabric in this side, and I want to be sure it is completely stick. So let's add the glue in both flaps, just one side first, and later we can add the opposite flaps as well in the same way. We have here the marks. I hope you can see it here and here, and there is where I need to attach this. This is going to be here. Take your time, always take your time. Don't hurry so much when you're doing this, because it's important to keep a strong structure. Don't add glue on the hinge, just in the flaps, okay? Here I am just pressing and aligning with my neck side, okay? Now I need to do it in this side as well. Now this needs to dry, of course. We need to wait a little bit before we manipulate everything. Okay, here you can see a little bit of fabric, but I am thinking to add this in the front and a little bit of cheesecloth in the back as well. Okay, but first it's important to wait until this dries, and at this point you can decide which one it's going to be your front side and your back side. And I'm going to leave this in the back because I have this and I don't like that. And I need to see which side is that. Here I need to cover that with a little bit of cheesecloth. In this way we can cover as well all the imperfections here, and I'm going to do it here also. Now I'm going to add a little bit here in here, just to cover all these imperfections. Probably here I'm going to use this adhesive better. Always be careful because this glue, it's really sticky. want to add some ribbon in the bottom because we need a closure. So I think it's a good idea to do it with a ribbon. And I have here more of this seam binding. I want to keep a little bit to make a bow and decorate. So this is going to be my front. This needs to dry, and this measure 2¼ so here is my center, something like that. We can start adding the papers. At this point, if you need to cut or make adjustments, this is the moment to make those, okay? Probably you need to cut a little bit or whatever you need to do, okay? Let's dry perfectly everything here and then we can continue.